Want more of the Conservative Circus? Follow the show on Facebook at James T. Harris Media.
You are listening to the Conservative Circus on News Talk 550 KFYI and the free iHeartRadio app. I am your ringmaster, James T. Harris. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. This guy is kind of incredible. We've had him on the show throughout the years. He is a candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives now. He's in his time, he's been a doctor, local doctor here. He's also a primary care physician, small business owner. He's a national security Mideast expert. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a patriot, and he is in the center ring, a doctor. I want to get to the topic of your congressional run, but before I do, I have to ask you what you make of the situation in Israel. It is my understanding that you have called for an invasion of Gaza. Is that right?
Yes, Israel has a right to defend itself, and there's no way it can defend itself against the terror regime of Hamas without going into Gaza and also trying to save the lives of the hostages that are there. That's what a example of democracy would do, is it defends every one of its citizens. And Palestinians are just as much victims of Hamas as Israel is. And it's unfortunate, as you and I have talked for so many years, that they did not have an Arab awakening against their own regime, against the Hamas regime of radicalism, of Islamism. And as you can see now, Hamas continues to try to foment jihad across the planet, try to reawaken the building of its caliphate. And make no mistake, the Biden administration sort of ushered this in by withdrawing from Afghanistan, telling the Taliban, withdrawing so weakly, telling the Taliban that we would basically let them reign, and then giving Iran billions in exchange at ransom for our hostages. The Islamists all over the planet saw this as a green light, and Israel is a victim, as so long has been. And we're also seeing an awakening of what many of us have been talking about for years, which is the anti-Semitism that's fomented across our universities and in the West and across the planet is hand in hand with radical Islam and with the progressivists and far left.
Dr. Jasser, you have said that Joe Biden lit the match. You predicted exactly what we are watching right now. Do you think the Biden administration saw the consequences of doling out money to Iran and paying ransom?
Well, I don't think they had the wherewithal to care too much. All they care about is sort of appeasing, and we're even seeing that one of the leaders in the Biden administration, Robert Malley, appeared to have Iranian agents possibly working with him, near him, or for him, and that's all going to be exposed shortly. Bottom line is that the Biden administration operates from a position of weakness, operates from a position of subservience, and really turned the page on American greatness, don't understand America's role in the world, and that ultimately, in the absence of American leadership, that vacuum gets filled by coalitions that include the Chinese Communist Party working with the Iranian Islamists that fuel radical militant groups like Hamas. And you see the Middle East lit on fire, and our allies, not only Israel, but Saudi Arabia and others that were looking at normalizing relations with Israel, now that is all lit afire. And this is why, the Reagan mantra of conservatism, of peace through strength, I can tell you, as the son of immigrants that escaped Syrian dictatorship, Arab mafiosos and radical dictators don't understand any language except fear and strength. And once that goes away, they will move forward and destroy their enemies, which is exactly what they've been calling for from Hamas on.
We have Dr. Zuhdi Jasser in the center ring. He's a former lieutenant commander in the United States Navy, a past president of Arizona Medical Association. Now he's a Republican candidate for Congress, which leads to my next question. Dr. Jasser, why are you throwing your hat in the ring? Why are you running for Congress?
Well, I have to tell you, James D., for decades I've spent my life, fighting not only radicalism, but for free markets, for small businesses, fighting to tell our representatives to seal the border, to do what's right. And, leadership is about taking on the fights that many people don't want to. And I've never run away from one. And I think this is the culmination of what I've been doing for over 20 years, 25 years here in business in Phoenix and in the county. And we see today as this war unfolds, it's a time for adults, not a time for those that have not demonstrated an ability to do this. And I think in Congress, I can give a voice to the voiceless. As you and I talked through the pandemic, how many doctors do you know that were calling for not to do the shutdowns, to say that medical personnel are not the only essential personnel? Everybody's essential when they need to put bread on the table, and that it's not the role of government to just print money and create inflationary stimuli, which is exactly what we're seeing today. So I think it's a natural evolution for me to represent the people of the 4th District in Arizona and in Congress, and I'd be honored to do that.